Alright, what's up everybody? We are on Season 1, Episode 12 of Vinland Saga, which is called The Land on the Far Bank. It's funny because I just recorded a review for Episode 11, which I, came off of, and I had this crazy theory where, of course, we had this sort of face reveal for Canute, and people, commented on like how, Canute looks very female or whatever, right? And me being utterly confused by that. Not because of the fact that Canute turns out perhaps to be female or whatever, but like the character model also just literally looked almost near identical to Helga, who was Thorfinn's mom. And it seemed all the more convenient that Helga was mentioned in the episode, that we have not seen Helga literally for a number of episodes, even though it seemed pretty clear to me early on that like they were gonna be recurring characters, along with Leif, of course, Thorfinn's family. We've spent a great deal of time with them. At least significant enough for them to return at some point. So, all of that just got me to truly question if the person who we saw here was in fact Thorfinn's mom. The odd part is also how like we didn't get to see even Thorfinn's reaction in the first place. So all these things, had me utterly confused. And I wasn't sure if I was getting it right or not. Like I said, recorded that review, and what I did afterwards is that like I noticed how over on Reddit you can actually go into these topics where people kind of discuss, the episodes, and they discuss them spoiler free for anything that's still to follow or whatever, right? So that's great because it allows me to quickly get some input. That I like. This is always what I notice about myself. I'm kind of this. I don't know if control freak is the right word, but I always want to make sure that I get things right, that I understand them correctly, because I hate not being in the know, and like, especially when it's supposed to be obvious, I guess. And with something like this, I feel like, well, I shouldn't really be questioning whether this is Thorfinn's mom or not, right? Like, that's just a dumb thing to be to be even theorizing about, because it should kind of just be immediately clear, right? You're seeing the character, so it should be clear. But this is what always confuses me with anime, is that like I always tend to not be able to distinguish one character model from another. So I always, I've gotten confused with that in Attack on Titan, I remember, and definitely I think in Demon Slayer and in all the animes that I've seen so far. It's easily one of my biggest flaws watching these shows. But what I noticed when reading then real quick in that Reddit thread is that like, yeah, nobody was really bringing that up about about how it could potentially be Helga. So I guess it isn't. People were definitely confused, which I was glad to see, but like other people were also very confused whether this meant that Canute, that whether this was actually then Canute or not, or whether Canute actually is female, or whether it's just a man with very feminine like traits or whatever that we're looking at. I don't know if it matters. I mean, surely it's gonna matter because they're making a big deal out of it, but in what kind of way? So I guess, like, these kinds of things, it's like normal for your average anime viewer who, once again, I want to specifically point out, I am definitely not. I'm still relatively a newcomer to this entire genre, but yeah, I mean, like, I guess we'll have to wait a little bit longer to see something of Helga and Ylva again, and Leif and stuff, because I'm definitely looking forward to that. And in the meantime, it's going to be interesting to see then what the deal is with Canute and what we've seen of like, well, they keep making a big deal out of the Christianity versus the Norse mythology and everything, right? And we saw already how like this Canute was specifically sort of like praying to a Catholic cross or whatever, right? So what's going to be up with that? Thorfinn, who now knows that Thorkel knew his dad, knew his family, in fact. And super curious to see, like if they're going to have a third confrontation at some point down the line, therefore, because Thorkel seemed very convinced about it, because they were both headed for the same the same place, being the Danish king, Sweyn, I think he's called, right? So, God, all in all, we have so much to get into here. It's, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know, did I mention it just now? I don't think so, but it was in my head. I was definitely thinking about re-recording that review for the previous episode, just because of my completely baseless speculation of me being like, God, I look like an idiot now thinking about it. But whatever, dude, those were my thoughts back then at the time, and I'm just gonna be honest about those. But I definitely do realize a bit more now that it was probably, like I said, entirely unfounded. And we're going to see what the actual deal is with Canute then right now. I'm looking forward to it. So with that being said, guys, if you enjoy my reactions to Vinland Saga, then of course you can already watch the next 8 episodes right now over my Patreon. That is linked on top of the description. Over there, we will already be on episode 20. So, yeah, that's a lot for you to catch up on, of course, along with full-length reactions if you want to see me react to the episodes in their entirety. But then with that being said, let's dive into episode 12 of Vinland Saga. Here we go. Nice teeth. And I'm gonna ask him a question. What, is he gonna use this little boat here? I was gonna say, he's gonna have to make a couple round trips, isn't he? 元老のどなたかへ大至急リディアの子アシュラッドからとお伝えいただきたい。承知しました。大至急。So it's gonna be like negotiation, you know, like a negotiation letter involving Canute. おい、ラグナルさん、お静かに願いますよ。なぜ進軍を止める？トルケルに追いつかれてしまうぞ。耳が仕事をしているときは物音を立てない決まりだ。Wait, they call him ear? Because it was typed with a capital letter, yeah. そのとんがり頭に息をさせるな。Conehead. 昨日より近づいている。静かにしろお前ら。馬だ。丘の上、2機。This guy has some fantastic senses, man. Holy shit. How do you develop those? 援軍を要請しました。それまでは逃げ回りましょうや。は？援軍？間に合うんかね、援軍。つうか、援軍呼んだら褒美も山分けだろ。俺ら100人だけでやるっつって。Yeah, what does it mean with the reinforcements then? They seem to be confused about it too. Oh, I guess that's what the letter was about originally, right? About the reinforcements somehow? Yeah. He's just not having people be in the know about it, including myself. Ah. Because maybe it's not Canute? 40年余り生きてきてな。そいつがどんなやつなのか、大物か小物か、利口かバカか、パッと面見ただけで分かっちまうのさ。王者の面じゃねえってな。ああ、まあ女みたいな面だよな。So it is still he, okay. あれはまだガキじゃねえか。まあ、そうだな。まだ若い。これからだ。Did they check though? 行軍準備。ぐずぐずしてっとトルカルに追いつかれるぞ。There's an easy way. まだ真っ暗じゃねえか。よー。眠れたか。God, they are so done. Yeah, well, I don't know if you can if you're walking though. I wasn't sure actually, but was the ear guy here supposed to be blind? I'm not sure if I caught that. Because that would definitely explain... Nah, I don't think... Well, I'm not sure. That would definitely explain why it would have more developed senses in hearing. Who are these two guys? Okay. Dude, this guy looks like some Roman Empire leader. Holy shit, he really does. Okay, and they've got some ships.
で、その船が連中を乗せて川を渡ったってわけだ。どこの船だったかわかるか？
いや、それがはっきりとは。確か目が書いてあった。選手のとこにギョロッと。
スベン王の船じゃなさそうだな。まあ何にしろトルフィンたちの足跡をたどることはできなくなったな。
So it was some other faction entirely.
ちっと奴らのことは侮ってたな。
It's interesting how Askeladd literally brought up the Roman Empire in the Ragnarok episode.
イングランドからデンマークに寝返ったってことですか？
バカ、お前ものを知らねえな。ウェールズってんだ。
ローマ支配時代の終焉以降、全地域を統一するほどの国家が育つことはなく、多数の小王国が割拠する状態が数百年続いていた。アシェラッドの救援要請に応じたのは、そんな小王国の一つだった。
It's like a leftover kind of thing. Even though hundreds of years have passed. Wow.
あとはこのまま回路を行けばゲインズバラへ帰れるというわけだ。いえ、こっからはまた陸路です。ウェールズの地を歩けというのか。バカな。この地の民は我々を恨んでる。これ以上殿下の恩義を危険にさらすわけにはいかん。
Dude, what does he think he can do on his own? Everybody disrespects Ragnar. He's on his own. Oh shit. He talked.
に追われながらイングランドを北上するよりはマシですよ。少なくともこの国は私の味方です。このものをクヌート殿下にお付けします。
Of course.
おお、そなたあの時の。
勝手に決めんじゃねえよ。
何は小さいが腕は立ちます。
Yeah, you definitely don't want to tell Thorfinn what to do. Oh, they're the same age? Oh shit. Yeah, that Canute is not a fighter. That's clear.
こちらはモルガンクーグ王国の将軍グラティアヌス殿。
ほう、少し剣があるが良い顔だ。
軍団長殿、それは私の部下です。クヌート王子殿下はそちらに。
手に力がない。本当に時代のイングランドを滑るものか。
貴様、失礼であろう。
Damn, man, this is ruthless.
我らがデンの王子の逃避行に協力する理由は一つ。王子よ、誓われよ。イングランドの王となった暁には、決してウェールズには干渉せぬと。
Damn, man, he has to let this Ragnar guy do the communicating for him.
殿下は公務をしておられる。そなたらが船3隻を提供するならば、
私は王子本人に聞いているのだ。
This guy is not taking any shit.
まあよい。また後で聞こう。それまでに
How was this Canute raised, you wonder?
出発の準備を急がれよ。
Probably just with a bunch of people surrounding him, giving him fruit.
殿下と対等に口が聞けるとでも思うとるんか。田舎もんめが。もっと楽しい話しようぜ。楽しいってどんな？そりゃおめえ、スベン王の。
These guys are still having conversations.
あのトルケルから王子を救ったんだぜ。なんでも王の寝室には世界中からさらってきた美女の奴隷が100人もいるってよ。
What the hell is a concubine? Well, I guess I kind of understand now. I've never heard that word before though.
これといって価値のありそうなものはなかったです。私の求めているものに比べれば貴 金銀も美女もつまらないものだという。
So what does he seek? Truth?
ぜひ教えてくれ。
Purpose?
それは何なんだ。
Alcohol?
愛です。
Love, okay.
愛。キリスト教徒がよく言う呪文かなんかだよ。
Oh, I guess love is more, yeah,
銀で言うと何本
Christian related.
銀では測れません。銀に価値を与えるのも愛だからです。
And the Norse don't really think about
金
love.
銀も美女もすべて無価値だ。
続けてくれよ、今の話。もう少し。
Oh no, he's about to be converting them all, isn't he?
そろそろブリケイニオン王国に入る。
Well, I don't know if that's a bad thing per se, but maybe for him it will be.
ご尽力痛み入ります。
お前たちのためではない。利害の一致だ。あれがお前の丘アシェランド。
He has no king.
筋は申し分ありません。あとはまあ若さに期待しています。惚れた男ほど思い通りにはならんもんです。案外あのくらいの器の方がちょうどいいのかもしれません。
我らは誇りあるブリタニアの末裔だ。
I had not expected him to say that.
王には従わぬぞ。
未だ伝説を信じておいでですか。アルトリウス公が西の彼方のアバロンから戻られ、古のブリタニアを復興なさるという伝説を。
Some kind of prophecy.
アシュラット
Yeah, those days of old are never coming back, I'm afraid.
耳のやつはそう言ってるぜ。
ブリケイニオングの使いの者だ。出迎えご苦労。
面白い。グラティアヌス殿。
This seems a little shady.
なぜわかる？
部下に耳の良い者がおります。
Oh,
だが、もう
they brought an army?
どうしたトロフィー
Thorfinn can tell as well, just by the environment, perhaps. Like, perfect place for an ambush. Oh, yeah, it's kind of like where his dad died. Shit, man. With these cliffs. Ah, people standing there with bows and arrow. Wait, that's...
待て早くしろ
Really?
行くぞ
Holy shit! What the fuck is this kind of time jump we just got? Yeah, like the way they were already portraying this all was making it seem like they were genuinely about to lose there. Oh, wow. Okay, they already gave us a little tease of the outcome of this, I guess. The direction of this episode was just absolutely fantastic. I love how in that final sequence in the last couple minutes here, I could immediately tell what the show was trying to communicate to me, which is that this situation that they just got themselves in was a lost cause already. It did that by just cueing in the music and switching from scene to scene and stuff. Like, that's why it didn't have me at surprise at all. I mean, obviously I was surprised by seeing Leif back into the picture there suddenly in the scene that we cut towards, but you immediately do see it coming, because like I said, the show sort of communicates that, like, okay, there might very well be a time jump now or something. And so when you see Leif there, and I think you recognize him immediately simply by his signature mustache that he still has, even though he definitely lost some hair in the process, right? But a lot of years have passed. Yeah, so great, because he spots, obviously, Thorfinn, who is, I guess, being sold as a slave, or at least being transported somewhere. And then, like, what's interesting about it is, of course, that the show actually cuts back to the battlefield that this fight is about to be breaking out in. And so we're heading, I would assume, into the next episode, with this battle still about to be taking place, and we're gonna see the outcome of it, but we already know what the outcome is going to be. It's so cool how, you know, we've had our fair share of battles so far already. It's a big part of what this show is, and it's a big part of this universe. But it's just great to see how the show continues to spice things up and to go into them with an unexpected angle or something, right? Because, yeah, I just think that the way that they actually conveyed all this information to us, and the way that we're about to head into the battle already knowing what the outcome is going to be and kind of knowing where things go, and so we can kind of speculate about that in the process, is super cool. And I already can't wait to see what this will, you know, mean for Leif's side of the story. And is he gonna try and get Thorfinn freed? I would think not, because Leif by himself can't really do much. He's gonna obviously share this information with Thorfinn's family, and that's how they can, I presume, come back into the picture. And so that's what I'm definitely waiting for already. But this episode was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. Other than that, I'm not sure if there's a lot still for me to get into. You know, I think one of the things that this episode, but also this show in general, loves to do is to delve into not only the different personalities of the characters, but also just the world, right? And the current time period and the history of it. And I think that is so fantastic. Because of course, and you know, I've said it before, I don't know a lot about the Norse era, I guess, right? And like I said, Norse mythology and just these guys in general. It's cool to see kind of this leader here in Wales who, like I said, the way he's dressed still reminds me of somebody from the Roman Empire, even though that was hundreds of years back. But Askeladd then also just explains, I think, how these are kind of still the remnants of that, right? Like here in Wales, this is these guys kind of separated themselves, and he even talks, the leader guy, Gritanius, I think it was called, even talks about that, how his only wish is for Canute in the future to leave him alone. That's why he's helping him here. So these guys are just, you know, living on their own territory and would like to keep it that way with their own rules. But yeah, also, you know, you see these men of Askeladd who are very, how should I put it? I mean, just these Vikings in general, they're very masculine men, right? And I think it's awesome to then see Canute kind of being used as this, like, well, it's not a mirror image, because that would mean the same thing, right? It's like the opposite of that. I'm not sure what the expression would be, but he's used to showcase somebody who doesn't fit whatsoever. A very different kind of man, I guess, you know? And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I totally understand that, like, these Vikings don't even really understand, like, who they're helping here. Like, who the hell is this guy? This guy doesn't even fit our code. You know, it's like Canute seems like a total, yeah, I don't know how to put it, but like he's obviously using Ragnar there to communicate information for him. He's afraid to talk. He's afraid of Thorfinn. He's not a warrior. He's not skilled. It's like you can't blame these guys for just questioning what their mission even is and who their leaders even are. So I think that's, once again, something that is just super fascinating to think about. So, you know, other than that, yeah, I think I've basically covered it all. You know, cool to see them just, once again, like, talking about personalities, which I touched on real quick, briefly before. It does that too, though, where you have this guy, like the one they called the Heir, who's, you know, like, scouting the area for them and stuff, and it can use his senses to understand, you know, whether other soldiers are coming their way, because of course they were still traced by Thorkel. Even Thorkel, he has really good vision, right? Like, he can see people from miles away, and we saw him use that in the battlefield. But even now, like, he could already he could just see them from a very large distance. This was, yeah, I love this episode, and I especially can't wait with that little tease that we got and already knowing where things will end up. I can't wait to see things actually get there, in all fairness, and then especially to see what comes out of that, because this tease of Leif coming back, and therefore I would assume also Thorfinn's family and stuff, has me very excited, because it's kind of what I've been waiting for ever since we saw them last time. So guys, I hope you enjoyed my reaction here to Vinland Saga episode 12. Of course, if you do, then you can already watch the next 8 episodes right now over on my Patreon. That is linked on top of the description. Over there, we will already be on episode 20. So go and check it out. Your support, I should also mention, is very much appreciated. And it allows me, of course, to make these videos in the first place. We have full-length reactions up there if you want to see me react to the episodes in their entirety too. So yeah, then with that being said, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And I look forward to seeing you back in the next episode.